The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Channel switched.
Hello, everybody out there listening to Armed Radio. Thanks for tuning into my show, All Aboard. My name is Donald Whisman. And as always, I want to send prayers out to all the men and women serving in our military, and I want to send a big thank you out to all of our country's veterans. Job well done, guys. And I just want to let everybody know that I do have a Facebook group. And so if you support President Trump and you consider yourself a patriot, please join our Facebook group. The name of it is Trump 2020 exclamation point. Just don't forget that exclamation point. And tonight we will be taking calls tonight. So I'm going to give you the number. So have a pen ready. The number is, and it's toll free. It ain't going to cost you a dime. It's 1-800-508 5431. Call us up. I don't care if you hate me or you just want to talk about what's going on. Like me and I don't have a co-host anymore out there, everybody. So I got Jimmy Bell. He's the producer here on Armed Radio. He's been helping me out for the last couple weeks. So Jimmy's going to be helping me. Jimmy, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hello, everybody.
That's a good one. Jimmy. Scream it, buddy. I don't care. And anyway, you guys, like me and Jimmy was talking a little bit before the show started, there's really not been a whole lot of news going on. It's really been basically about Kavanaugh. I mean, and it's really a shame what happened last week. And Jimmy, I didn't get a chance to listen to your show Friday night, but I'm sure you guys talked about this a lot, didn't you?
What, the Kavanaugh? We kept trying. I don't know why I'm so loud.
Yeah, you're really loud, but I can hear you fine. I don't know, Jimmy, you're the producer, so fix it. So anyway, it's kind of a special day for me today. Today is my 29th wedding anniversary. I've been married for 29 years. We ate at McDonald's tonight, so when you've been married for 29 years, you're kind of used to anniversaries. But I think next year it'll be a big one. But
Yeah,
I think, we may even redo our vows or something. I don't know. Do something anyway. We don't even go out and eat at these big fancy restaurants. I just hate to go to a place and you spend almost $100 to eat. I mean, I just don't like that, man. I mean, I think that's a waste. That's too much money for food.
Yeah, like I said, I like food, but not that much.
Yeah, man, it's not that much. I mean, I could see $30, but some of these places, Jimmy, I mean, you go out to eat, it's $70, $80 plus tip, you know what I mean? And it's outrageous, but, I don't know, to get started here, you guys, we're getting really close, Jimmy. We're, a month and a few days out from the midterm elections. We've been talking about this for months now, and we've got just a little over a month, and those elections are going to be here, and I just can't stress how important these midterm elections are. I mean, they're almost as important as the election in 2016, and we've got to really get out here. We've got to get fired up. We've got to get the base fired up. And I know here in the state I live in Ohio, voter registration deadline here is October the 9th, so we got about a week to get registered. But, I mean, Jimmy, I don't care. I mean, you can get people registered, but we can't even get half the registered voters to even go vote. I mean, I don't know what's up with people. It's like they don't care. I don't know if they don't care or they just got better things to do in their mind. I think it's important, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll tell you, Jimmy, we got a lot at stake here. Actually, in these midterm elections, on the federal level, We've got, 35 Senate seats coming up. We've got all 435 seats of the House of Representatives up for re-election. So hopefully we can get rid of the Democrats out of there. And you know what? I'll tell you, if we don't get out here and vote, I mean, they could take the House really easy. I think the Senate's kind of a challenge for them. But it's possible, Jimmy, if we don't get out here and vote, they could actually take the House and the Senate away. I mean,
right, if we don't vote, you got that right.
What would we do if we lost the House? I don't even want to think about it. I mean, everybody keeps talking about this red tidal wave, red tsunami. I pray that there's a red tsunami, but you know, back when Hillary won that popular vote, Jimmy, that kind of scares me, man. It really does. And Jimmy, I was reading about these things. I really don't know what a super PAC is. But I was reading that they've been putting millions and millions of dollars in on this election for these Democrats. And I just, even on TV, I've seen a few Republican commercials, but most of your commercials are for the Democrats. I think they're outspending the conservatives this year. I don't
know. They're going full tilt on, they're trying to drill it in your head. You get sick of them after a while.
Yeah, I am very sick of it. And Jimmy, what I want to talk to you about here before we get going, and we'll go back. We're going to go back to the Kavanaugh stuff, but really not get into that. But what I seen last week happen to that man, I think it's going to hurt a lot of good people. We're going to lose a lot of good people in politics in the future because, I mean, just think, what kind of good man would want to get out here and run for a senator or a Republican or run for a rep, or even if Trump nominates another guy, I mean, are they willing to go through what Kavanaugh did? I mean, think about that.
Exactly. They may not.
I mean, who would want their name? I mean, this is literally, the Democrats have gone so low. I mean, they're basically lying, and I wouldn't want to go through that. If President Trump called you today, Jimmy, and there's not that much requirements to become a Supreme Court justice if he nominates you, basically being born here, same as the president, Jimmy. If President Trump came to you and nominated you for Supreme Court justice, would you want to go through all that? And
nah, they wouldn't nominate me with my record.
Well, I looked up the qualifications to be a Supreme Court justice, Jimmy, and it's just like you got to be a certain age, you got to live in the country. It don't even say you have to have a high school diploma, Jimmy. But I know we're not going to get nominated, but I'm just saying, what good man?
Well, I'm sure you got to be a lawyer at least.
You know what? I Googled it earlier, and it didn't say. It just basic things, being born here.
Supreme Court, you'd have to be a judge.
You would think so. That's what I thought. I thought maybe you'd even have to be a federal judge, but they said that the president can nominate anyone he chooses, anyone he wants to nominate, anyone. I'm sure they.
You're not going to nominate somebody with the judgeship or who's a lawyer. It's never going to get through nomination.
Right. You're not going to get confirmed exactly, but my whole point is though, who is going to go through that though in the future, Jimmy?
This guy's squeaky clean, and they're coming up with accusations. So it doesn't matter if the next nominee is squeaky clean. They're going to do the same thing to them.
They sure are, Jimmy, and I'll tell you what, I don't care if Trump picks a lady the next time. They'll come out and say that she abused a child or something. I don't know what they'll do. I don't think he's going to pick anybody from. It's a wonder Neil Gorsuch didn't go through a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but they've gotten worse since Neil Gorsuch was nominated. This guy, like you said, he's clean. Now look. Last Friday, they said 1 week, right, for this FBI investigation, which he's already been investigated 5 or 6 times. They're not going to find nothing on him. Here's the thing. Now, come Friday, we'll make 1 week, this coming Friday. Now, are they going to vote for him Friday?
McConnell says he's going to do it Friday.
They better. And I'll tell you what, and I know that Jeff Flake's not running for re-election, but, I think if he doesn't vote, can Kavanaugh still win without Flake's vote?
It depends if Joe Manchin who's a Democrat votes. There was another one, Heidi Heitkamp, I think, was another one that has to vote for Kavanaugh if she wants to get in.
You know, and Jimmy, I think, I usually don't talk much about Lindsey Graham, but I got to give the man credit. The man stood up for Brett Kavanaugh, and I really appreciated the things he said. I mean, he's even said he voted for some Democratic nominees, in the past. And
right,
there's no
Megan Kagan, Sotomayor, he voted for them.
Sure. So why? I mean, there's no Democratic senator. None of them's going to vote for him. You know that. But we can vote for them and nominate them, but none of them's going to vote for Kavanaugh. We already know that. I wouldn't even be trying to please them. We're not going to get their votes, but I guess it was all to please Jeff Flake, wasn't it? To get his vote. Was that all it was about? I think it was.
Yeah, it was a joke.
For this investigation, and there's nothing coming out. If they was finding stuff on Kavanaugh, don't think we wouldn't be hearing about it, because these Democrats, they're just waiting. You know what I mean? They're waiting to pounce like lions out here, ready to kill. Jimmy, these people, I tell you what, it's scary to think that those Democratic senators they're in there making decisions for our lives. It scares me. It's like a bunch of Norman Bates being on that. Those Democratic senators, they're psycho, and it scares me, Jimmy, that they're making decisions for our lives, man. I don't get it, dude. They need to go. Flat out, they need to go, and I'm just tired of them. And we've also got 36 governors up for election in this country. That's a lot of states, and this is a very, very important election. And in Ohio, I know your state's probably similar, Jimmy. All of our ballots aren't going to be the same here in Ohio. But you got different congressional districts. And it depends on your population of your state how many congressional districts you get, right? But I want to tell everybody out there, and your state's probably the same way. In Ohio, the only two people that's going to be on everybody's ballot on November the 6th, 2018, this year, in a month and a few days, is going to be Republican Governor Mike DeWine and Democratic Governor Richard Cordray. All right, they're going to be on everybody's ballot in Ohio. Then we've got the Senate race. We've got Republican candidate Jim Renacci, and we've got Democratic candidate and he's a senator now, Sherrod Brown. We've got to get Sherrod Brown out of there. There's only 100 senators. Every Democratic senator we get rid of, Jimmy, that will help our president tremendously.
Absolutely. We can get a lot done.
Jimmy, I don't want to keep what we got. I want to gain more. I want to get it up. I mean, it's close now. I mean, we got the numbers, but I want to gain. I don't want to stay the same. I want to gain.
Absolutely, because I'm going to go through this every time. 51 Republicans, and we got 3 that want to be Democrats.
There you go. Now, you live in New Hampshire. Is there? I know every state gets 2 senators.
They're both Democrat.
You got to be. Wait a minute now. You got to have a Republican running against that Democrat.
Who was the woman that she didn't like Trump because he said something? He had an accusation against him, a sexual assault on Trump, so she wouldn't vote for him or go along with anything. And the people in New Hampshire voted her out. They went with the Democrat.
Really? So right now your state has 2 Democratic senators?
Yeah, Shaheen, and I forget the other one that won because of Trump. Okay,
now, in this midterm elections, is either one of those senators up for re-election this year?
I know I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it could be possible both of them will be running in 2020 when Trump runs again, but I don't know. Here in Ohio, it's like we do have one Republican senator right now. It's Rob Portman. Now, he was elected in 2016, but a senator's term is 6 years. So,
6 years, yeah.
Now, I don't know, your state might have voted him in at the same time. Maybe they won't run again until
2016. One of them, the one that I said that went against Trump, she lost, and the Democrat got in. That was 2016, so she's good till 2022.
You're right. So the other one, now you got another one out there lurking around.
Yeah,
Right?
Janine Shaheen. I don't know if she's up this year or 20.
Well, you know what? I should have looked this up. I should have looked up New Hampshire to see, because I've got my Facebook ready here for a video we're getting ready to play. But I'll find that out, Jimmy, who the Republican candidate is, if there is one this year. I don't. You may not even. Most senators may not even be running this year. I don't know, Jimmy, about New Hampshire. But I mean, I can only. It doesn't matter what I know about New Hampshire anyway. I can't do any good in New Hampshire. I'm not a Democrat. I can't vote in 3 or 4 states like they do and get by with it. You know, if I could, Jimmy, trust me, I would drive to New Hampshire and I would vote down the line Republican, but we don't do that. We're not allowed, but they get by with it.
We don't cheat to get by.
Right, but you know, Jimmy, I do believe they cheat. I do, and they talk about Russian meddling. What about these illegals voting? Ain't that election meddling? It is. That's meddling to me.
Absolutely. I think what George Soros is doing is election meddling. Never mind the Russians. He's got more of a...
Well, sure. I mean, it's not only that. You've got dead votes. That's meddling. You got the dead people even meddling in the elections, and it's really funny how somebody will die and they're a Republican, and 20 years later they're a Democrat all of a sudden. That's always amazed me, man. But it has, man.
Yeah, they turn their cheek and when they go on the ground.
But really, this election right here, Jimmy, coming up in November, just a little over a month away, we could really show President Trump how much we support him. And if we get out here, all of us get out here and vote like there's no tomorrow, we could send a really big message to all the Democrats out there. You know, just say, hey, we're tired of your crap. We're tired of it. I hope they don't. I hope not a one of them wins this year. That's just praying. I know California, that's a breeding ground for Democrats. It is. It seems like it is. New York, that's a breeding ground for Democrats. Look at
California, New Jersey,
Illinois. Ain't that where Obama was from? But
yeah, exactly. Illinois is mostly a Republican state, I think, but it's Chicago is all Democrat.
Oh yeah, well, just like I don't know, anywhere like that's these big cities. That's what controls the whole state's election. That's where all the population's at, man.
Springfield,
Illinois. Yeah, you know, and that's funny. Ain't that where Lincoln? I think Abraham Lincoln's buried in Springfield, Illinois, isn't he?
I think he was from Springfield. Exactly, that's the capital.
Yeah, the first Republican president, and then they go and swing over to the Democrats. I don't get it, but Jimmy, out in California, here's 3 of them right from California. You got Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Maxine Waters. You know, I really feel sorry for the conservatives that live out there in California. I feel sorry for them because they're. You know, they feel like, why do I even want to go out and vote for? But I want to tell everybody tonight, if you live in these states, California, New York, get your butt out and vote. Don't never give up. One of these days, like these Democrats, they may be getting tired of it. I hope they got this walk-away campaign, Jimmy. I'm sure you've heard of that. You haven't heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, Jimmy, there's this big Facebook group. It's called Walkaway, and it's people who's walked away from the Democratic Party. I would have called it Runaway myself. I mean, I'd run away from that party, but man, there's like almost 200,000 people that's went on there and made testimonies. I mean, it sounds like a lot of people, but I guess in the whole scope of everything, it's not that many people. But I just wish people would wake up. I mean, that's my biggest thing, Jimmy. But Jimmy, I want to play this for you. I don't know, you might have heard this. Some people out there might have heard this. But when it comes to Brett Kavanaugh, I think Judge Janine Pirro, she nailed it, Jimmy. And I'll be honest with you, what do you think about the next nomination? Let's say let's say Kavanaugh gets confirmed. And let's say Ginsburg finally just calls it quits, right? Is there anything you think Judge Janine Pirro would make a good Supreme Court justice? I do.
Yeah, absolutely, and everybody, the public would be for her.
Sure, they would. I mean? She's a woman,
and back her more than Kavanaugh because they know her.
Well, Jimmy, I mean, let's try to get in Donald Trump's head a little bit. Wonder why he didn't try to pick Judge Jeanine. I think I would have. I mean, I would have.
The guy was squeaky clean. It was the best nomination they came up with. Like I said, so now they made up shit so that he doesn't get confirmed.
Jimmy, I believe that. Every word you're saying is true. Trump, Trump went through these, and he had them investigated himself just so he wouldn't have to go through this. And It is lies. Trump, when Trump first nominated that man, like you said, that guy's so clean, he you know what I mean? He don't have to take a bath for a week. But they did. They lied on this man. But Jimmy, now this is about 7-8 minutes long. I hope you don't mind. But I just thought, I found this to be true. Now, this is Judge Jeanine Pirro. It's just a couple days ago, and I'm going to play it right now. You ready?
It's Pirro.
Is it Pirro? Yeah. Well, Jimmy, I'm from Ohio. Maybe it's just me, but I say words a little different.
You guys, an Italian name.
Judge Jeanine Pirro. Then we'll go with your version of it, okay? All right, here's what Judge Jeanine Pirro had to say about the Kavanaugh. And this is interesting. Here it goes. All right. Let's hope it plays on my speaker here.
Is it just a he said, she said? Is it really that simple? And why is this now in the hands of the FBI? Why? Because the establishment Republicans have buckled, caved, and bowed to the Democrats, or should I say demon rats. That's what I said, demon rats. The spectacle I saw this week was one of the most pathetic, disheartening, saddest displays to which this nation has ever stood witness. It was, for all intents and purposes, a crucifixion of a man who has led the kind of exemplary life few of us can mirror. Now, you already know I was a felony court judge. I've been both a prosecutor and then the DA. Sex crimes and crimes against women and children were my crusade. I assessed whether cases should go forward, whether the accused should be charged, convicted, and if so, as a judge, what the sentence should be. No one sympathizes more than I when it comes to women who are the silent victims of crime. I created the first domestic violence unit in the nation, which was the Department of Justice pilot program. Christine Blasey Ford is a lovely lady who is credible, and I believe something happened to her. But she's in over her head, and she is being used. No matter how many indelible hippocampus brain comparisons she made, she couldn't remember the fundamentals. Whose house it was, where it was, when the party was, how she got to the house, or how she got home. She waits 36 years not telling her mother, a friend, a high school counselor, or anyone before now. If Ford said no one was there, that it was just she and Kavanaugh, or it was just he and she alone in a parking lot, then it's a true he said, she said. But once she chose to say there were 4 people there, it's a they said. Yet all 4 of they said nothing happened. They weren't there. They don't know what she's talking about. Now, what does that tell you about Ford's memory? If they weren't there, is it possible Kavanaugh wasn't there either? Now, crucial here is Ford's therapy visit in 2012. For the first time in 3 decades, she says she mentions Kavanaugh's name. If true, why was the name Kavanaugh not in the therapist's notes? And why would Ford's lawyers withhold those therapist notes, at least the part that referred to this alleged event? Why was Ford so evasive when questioned by the prosecutor on this issue? Why did her attorneys interfere with her answering in her testimony on this point? Were methods used to help her recall whatever traumatic event occurred? If a rape victim undergoes hypnosis sometime prior to testimony for the purpose of refreshing her memory of the incident, the court and jury is entitled to know. Because of the risk of confabulation of recent events, like television, newspapers, that impact one's memory, it is not a reliable means of refreshing one's recollection. Ford's attorneys even said she was afraid to fly and had to drive across the country. Yet we now know she was never told the committee was willing to come to her. We find out she's not afraid to fly. The woman's flown all over the country and the world, the South Pacific and Hawaii. But move all of that out of the way. What we're really dealing with here is hypocrisy, not who's right and wrong, who's guilty, who's innocent. This is about people desperate to win at all costs. Take a man and his family down, no problem. It's the battle of the hypocrites. Now, Jeff Flake is the perfect example. He says after the hearing he's going to vote for Kavanaugh. But the man buckles after two women scream at him while preventing his elevator door from closing.
Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my assault doesn't matter. That what happened to me doesn't matter.
What happened to me doesn't matter? Of course it matters. But what does your abuse have to do with Brett Kavanaugh? Hundreds of thousands of women have been abused in this country. Take your anger out on the person who abused you. Go to court, convict him, send him to jail, spit on him. I don't care, but don't you dare blame Brett Kavanaugh for your victimization. Only wimp Jeff Flake is dumb enough, weak enough to not even get it. And Cory Booker, the wannabe Spartacus, he has the gall to stand up and criticize a man who is literally an altar boy on the politics of sexual assault. The ultimate hypocrite, Booker admits groping another young woman when he was 15. Why aren't we going after him? And that genius, Senator Mazie Hirono, who allegedly graduated from high school, either skipped the presumption of innocence class or she's willing to throw it all away for her political gain. Mazie, your hypocrisy knows no bounds. When you have the nerve to say the Republicans have tossed out the rules, you're the one who declared Kavanaugh guilty before hearing any testimony simply because it was a woman who was the accuser, and all you men shut up. And you're willing to openly say conservatives are simply not entitled to the presumption of innocence? Who are you? But my favorite, Dianne Feinstein. Madam, you don't deserve to be in the United States Senate, and no one can believe anything you have to say.
Each of these allegations should be investigated by the FBI.
2 days ago, you called for an FBI investigation. What a shock! Why didn't you ask for it in July when you got the Ford letter? You didn't ask for it because you're a hypocrite. No, like a Cheshire cat, you sat on it to inflict the most damage at the most damaging time possible. Christine Ford, didn't want to be exposed. But no, you had other plans. Your plan was to leak it. You actually gave Ford the name of a Democrat attorney. Poor Dr. Ford. This woman doesn't know she was nothing more than a puppet on the string of Democratic politics. Dianne, where's your integrity? You and everyone in the Senate knows how this should have been handled. Confidentially. The FBI should have been involved before. It's how it's done. No one has any respect for you. But in the end, Lindsey Graham said it best.
There is no way to investigate something that happened 35 years ago when you can't tell them the month, the location. So this is not about getting to the truth.
And that's the opening statement. If you like my opening statements, you...
Jimmy, I just don't know what more to say. Judge Janine Pirro, is that right, Pirro?
Pirro, yeah.
Pirro, I don't know what more to add to that. She nailed it, man. I think she did a wonderful job. What do you think?
Yeah, she did. Like I said, the guy's squeaky clean. And
What?
what they're doing to him is outrageous. Like I said, if there was any truth to this, somebody would have been corroborated her story.
That's what she
They're all
said.
saying they don't remember, and they don't know.
Well, Jimmy, I'm gonna call. Well, let me take this. Hang on a second. Do you mind if I call one of my friends and just see? I got a friend I want to call and just see what he thinks about what's going on in the
Sure.
country. You mind, Jimmy?
Not at all.
We'll just change things around here. Why not? I'm gonna call me. Look for his number here. Y'all bear with me. He's a good friend of mine. He served in the military. So let's just call and see what he thinks about what's going on right now, Jimmy. Let me dial his number right now. Get it up here. His name's Darrell, Jimmy.
Same name as yours?
Yeah. See if he answers. I told him I might call him tonight. Let's see if Darrell answers tonight. Well, come on. He just sent me a message with some question marks. Well, he may not going to answer. Well, I'll give him one more ring here. Oh, well. Well, anyway, if anybody wants to call in, I'll give you the number one more time. That's 1-800-508-5431. Melissa, I just did a live videos. I hope you can call in if you're listening to me. Carol, if you're out there, please call in. Me and Jimmy would like to hear from you. And, Jimmy, another thing I seen today, or it might have been yesterday, I seen where there was like 200 protesters at that man's house, Kavanaugh's house, and you know they spray painted. There's my friend right now. He's calling us back, Jimmy. I'm going to answer the phone here, all right?
Sure.
Darrell, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Darrell, I'm on live show on my show right now, all aboard. So I wanted to call, and I just want to see what you think about this whole Kavanaugh thing that's took place last week.
Well, to me, I think if things happen like they say they did, they should have come out way, way sooner. At least a hint about it, not when he's being nominated for Supreme Court Justice.
Right.
I think her story's falling apart. Like everything you hear, she can't remember, but she's supposed to be this real intelligent lady that is in charge of so many things.
Yeah, she's a psychiatrist, Darrell, of all things.
I think, from what I see of it, it's just like them wanting this other investigation. If he passes everything with flying colors, ain't none of them going to vote yes for him anyway.
None of the Democrats, no. And Darrell,
Even hold up.
you was saying something the other day about all the Democrats that got up and walked out. It's one of them confirmation hearings, or when.
I think if you're in any kind of a voting process and you get up and walk out, I think your vote should be null and void.
What do you think, Jimmy? I mean, Darrell thinks any of them Democrats that got up and walked out. You remember that day, Jimmy? I don't know. You watch Fox News a lot. All them Democrats that got up and walked out of that room, Jimmy. I believe Darrell. I don't think they should have a vote on it, Jimmy.
Exactly. They should be thrown off the committee. Same with what's the name? Feinstein. She didn't bring it in.
If you get up and walk out of a vote, you lost your chance to vote.
Well, Darrell, I know you can't hear Jimmy, but Jimmy agreed with you wholeheartedly on that. He agreed with you on that one. Now, Darrell, is there anything else that's pissing you off that's going on right now in the country? Anything?
Man, I got my mind somewhere else right now, but I had a bunch of things I'd like to talk about on it.
Well, that's fine. I'm glad you called me back, Darrell. I know you're busy, but I'll tell you what. You don't mind if I call you back next week, do you?
No, I'll try to be more prepared.
All right. Well, you're fine, man. I just wanted to get your take on what's going on. I'm sure you feel like the rest of us conservatives do. I know you do.
I mean, now they're No, I seen a while ago. They're not wanting to have the FBI's report made public.
Well, they should let us know.
She just put out there that she doesn't want the public to know what the findings were on his last investigation.
Oh, you mean Christine Ford don't want it to be out there in public?
Feinstein don't want it.
Oh, Feinstein. Well, I'll tell you, we just got done listening to Judge Janine Pirro, and she called Feinstein basically a hypocrite, Darrell.
Yeah. Well, even like Ford, it says that 6 months ago, her criminal record was totally erased from being able to be checked on. So there's nothing to go back and check on her. I mean, why are they hiding so much stuff if everything's so true about what they're doing, you know?
Well, like me and Jimmy was saying earlier, Darrell, this man was squeaky clean. You know President Trump checked him out before he nominated him. This man's squeaky clean. They're lying, Darrell. I think it's a lie. And I'll tell you what, if they don't nominate him, I think something bad's... I mean, I don't want nothing bad to happen in the country, but I think hell's going to break loose if that man don't get nominated, brother.
I don't think none of us are squeaky clean. Everybody has something in their past.
Well, sure. I mean, if they dig hard enough, we don't walk on water. None of us is perfect in this world.
His problem was being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
All the way up to date, and nothing ever came out. And now when Trump nominates him, all of a sudden, he's this big monster, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jimmy even said earlier, he's squeaky clean. I mean, the man was squeaky clean. Darrell. But anyway, I'll guess, Darrell, I'll let you go. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, brother, and I'll talk to you. Thanks for calling me back, Darrell.
All right, Don. Talk to you later.
All right, bye, man. But anyway, Jimmy, honestly, I mean, I think a lot of people feel this way. I mean, even women are saying this is wrong. And, like them women that started yelling at Kavanaugh when he was in the elevator, what does it matter about them?
I know. What does that got to do with Kavanaugh?
What? Yeah, exactly. What in the hell does Kavanaugh have to do with them getting, why don't they start...
Exactly. Flake's a moron for listening.
Jimmy, why would he cave?
I think the whole thing was staged. Otherwise, he would have got them away from the elevator door.
You know what? As a Republican, he just should have went in one ear and out the other. But he caved, Jimmy. The man caved. He knows he's not running again.
Trump. He's a Democrat in disguise. That's why he can't run again.
There you go, brother. I believe that too, because anybody that would even know Brett Kavanaugh, they wouldn't cave over a few people. I got raped. You got this Me Too movement out here. I'm so sick of this crap, man. These people, they're a joke, Jimmy, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all.
Half of them are making it up.
And that Feinstein, like you heard Judge Janine on there, she had this daggone memo. She knew about this during the confirmation hearings. She waited until afterwards before it's killing time, Jimmy.
He was in her office talking to her, and she knew about it, never said a word.
That's what he said. And what about this? They said that Flake, right before he came out and demanded this weak investigation, they said he went and met with some Democrats in a room. And that's when he came out and wanted this investigation. I mean, was he paid? Did they pay that man? That's a crime right there, isn't it?
I guess.
Jimmy, I think these people now, like this Ford lady. What about like all them women who there was like 9 of them right before election night when President Trump was running for president. Now they all just went away, right? They went away. Now when Kavanaugh,
the ones that were accusing him.
Yeah, I mean, remember they brought all these people and all these women.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. That they're doing the same thing. These are all bullshit fucking stories.
Jimmy, do you believe, or do you agree with me when I say if these women, if they can prove that they're lying, these women should have to go to jail or some kind of punishment?
For 5 years for lying.
That would put a stop to this crap, Jimmy.
Like I said, they'll think twice if they're going to do 5 years.
Well, you're right. They all the money. I'll tell you what, Jimmy. Somebody couldn't give me $1 million to serve 4 or 5 years in the penitentiary. All this sexual misconduct, these allegations, they would stop unless they had proof, man.
Right.
You know what? If they could,
talking to your shrink is not proof.
No, well, she is a psychiatrist. Now,
I know it. That's what makes this even twice as worse.
Right. She was so traumatized. Jimmy, how did she go and get herself married? How did she go and have kids?
Exactly.
Go to college?
This guy did. What did he do? Grope her through a fucking jacket or
all right.
You know what I mean? He got the first base. And we don't even know if it was Kavanaugh. She don't even know if it was Kavanaugh.
There you go, Jimmy. That's what I was going to say. All she said that he tried to get her clothes off. To me, sexual misconduct or rape is, I hate to say it, it's penetration. There was no penetration, Jimmy.
He got the clothes off and penetrated. That's rape.
She said that she was wearing a one-piece bathing suit under her clothes. Now you tell me, if you can remember back 36 years ago, what you was wearing. And she only had one beer. I think we talked about this last week. Now, Jimmy, could you remember 36 years ago at a party when you was 15? I only had one beer.
Exactly. She's lying like she was talking to the cops.
You're right, Jimmy. What does everybody do if you're out here drinking? Say you're having a couple beer. You've had 10
you
beers.
lied to them. How many did you have to drink? One, maybe two.
Two. Everybody says that. Now I'm going to tell you. Listen, even me, I'm not no squeaky clean person. Jimmy, I got pulled over when I was 18 years old for a DUI. I was young, stupid, but what did I say? I was drunker than crap. He said, how many you had to drink tonight? I said, sir, I had 2. And everybody says that, though. Everybody.
Exactly. You want to say 1 because they know you're lying. You say 2, they think you're giving in.
Yeah, you're giving in, but it's still, they know you're lying. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I
opened my door when I got pulled over and fell out. I just fell out on the ground.
Well, they say, how many beers you drinking, Jimmy? You just said, just take me on to jail and put me to bed.
I come back from the combat zone. I was 17 years old, and they were serving us. I think the drinking age was 18, and they were serving 17-year-olds.
All right, I guess we've talked enough about Kavanaugh, Jimmy. You probably know more about this subject than me. I was just reading a little bit about it. But Trump his Trump administration reached a trade agreement with Canada, and what do they call it? The
USMCA.
Now, Jimmy, tell us a little bit about this. This is kind of like a redo, an overhaul of NAFTA. Am I correct?
Exactly. It's the U.S. Mexican-Canadian agreement. That's what USMCA means for.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, they had an agreement. All right. So, why couldn't Bill Clinton have made this a better deal back in those days? I mean,
Bill Clinton was an idiot.
All right.
The best he could do was rape people.
Okay.
That's about the only thing he was good at.
You know what? I hate to go back to it again, but let's go back here again. Now, Bill Clinton's presidency, they had this, remember Monica Lewinsky, right? You remember her? Now, they actually had physical evidence on this president. They had, and I'll say it right here on radio, they did DNA tests on those stains on that dress. You know what stains they were?
They were Bill's sperm.
They were President Bill Clinton's, his little buddies, his body buddies. I'll call them nut buddies. Right. Whatever you want to call him. But anyway, so he gets impeached, right? So he never leaves. He gets impeached, but he finishes his term. I don't get it, man. But and there's Hillary. Hillary's going across the nation. She's talking all bad about Kavanaugh. Her husband slept.
Exactly. Well, this guy accused of groping, and they're making it's like a capital sin.
But Chelsea Clinton, she had a meeting, or not a meeting, she was talking at her alma mater. I guess that's her college. I don't talk them big words. But she's coming out with another kid's book, and she was telling these kids in the crowd how horrible the Trump administration is, and it's just like it's so bad. And what about her father? She didn't mention her father using cigars on some lady in the Oval Office of all places, while her mother was upstairs doing God knows what. I mean, they think they're so clean, but these are the dirtiest, filthiest people, Jimmy, but they're okay. It's okay if they do it, though. It's okay.
Hypocrites.
Yes, absolutely hypocrites. Now, Jimmy, now this whole thing with Mexico, Canada, now does this mean our farmers are going to get better deals and the auto workers?
They were doing a 300% tariff on dairy products.
And do you believe eventually that China, they're going to come around eventually, ain't they? I mean,
they keep enforcing tariffs, and they're doing the same thing. They're a better economy, so it's going to take a while. But yeah, they're going to have to cave, otherwise they're going to lose everything.
That's what I think. And I know the farmers were kind of mad, and they were kind of mad at Trump over this. But I just
said
that
China and Canada went along with China. They were boycotting the farmers, so that they wouldn't vote for Trump. They were, you know what I mean? They were trying to put a hurt on our farmers.
Well, I eventually just want the farmers to know that President Trump is thinking about you.
He has his best interest in your he's got his heart in your interest.
Yeah, and they may hurt for a little while, but I guarantee you they'll make up for it when this president gets done.
In the long run, he did the right thing.
Now, Jimmy, the Dems are back at it again. Now, this is something that really makes me mad. They're trying to get national minimum wage up to $15 an hour, Jimmy. Now, listen, I'm a poor man, okay? But if there's college kids, people, I didn't go through college, and that's a lot of work, Jimmy, to go through college. It is. It's a lot of your life. It's a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and how can you pay a McDonald's worker $15? You know what that's going to do to restaurants and stores if they raise this minimum wage up? Everything's going to go up, Jimmy. They're going to replace them.
The inflation goes up when the cost of living goes. I mean, when wages go up.
So where do you think their heads are at? Trying to raise? I mean,
they're forcing inflation.
Forced inflation, exactly. And what are they doing again? Basically, they're attacking the rich man. That's the Democrats' motto.
No, they're going after the workers. They're the ones that are going to hurt on inflation.
Well, the workers, these people, they'll be like, yeah, let's vote for the Democrats. We'll get $15 an hour. Little do they know, they won't be them jobs. The McDonald's won't hire you.
They won't be able to have a cost of living. They're not going to afford it.
Well, do you know what they'll do, Jimmy? They'll automate everything. They can do it.
No, they'll think, well, if $15 an hour isn't enough, let's go up to $30.
Well, they're kidding themselves.
Right. This is what happened. Well, like I said, I remember when the minimum wage was $2.10. That's when I started working.
It was $3.10 when I started working, somewhere around there. But you know what? To me, back in those days, that was pretty good money. I didn't expect to start out
you got $70 a week. You pay $25 and board.
I used to think, Jimmy, you're probably the same as me. If a guy was making like $7 an hour back when I started working, I was making $3. I thought that was a good wage.
Absolutely, I was making $2.10 when minimum wage was $1.80. So I was doing really good.
Well, what was a pack of cigarettes, though, back in those days, Jimmy? Like a quarter?
The first time I bought a pack of cigarettes, it was 28 cents.
28 cents for a pack of cigarettes. And if you can remember, I hate to put you on the spot, but can you remember about what you was paying for a gallon of gas back in those days?
It's under $1.
All right. Now just imagine back in those days, like people, minimum wage is $2.10. Now imagine if it was $10 an hour back in those days. Boy, you wouldn't have been paying that cheap for cigarettes.
An engineer. That's an engineer's salary.
Sure, back in Jimmy, I just don't get it. Even these I'm serious. I keep referring to McDonald's workers, but it's all these low-skilled workers, and I was a low-skilled worker, but I'm not going
to. Low-skilled workers. Those are the jobs you start with, and from there you go up.
Well, it's this country, Jimmy. It's open to do what you want to do in life. It depends on you. I mean, you can't sit and expect your government like they owe you $15 an hour because you decided to quit high school. They don't owe you nothing in this country. I mean, they don't.
That's why they're trying to get the dependency. They're trying to get you dependent on government.
That's that Democratic Party. That's what it is. They want you dependent on the government, and you'll keep voting for it. That's why they give them things. So they'll keep voting them in. Let's give them stuff.
The blacks are finally coming around. They're saying welfare is just a new form of slavery because what it produces is more welfare recipients instead of college graduates. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what, Jimmy? I think you're right when it comes to the blacks. I think they are starting to open their eyes. I hope they are.
They have to be. There's been, 60 years of this bullshit, and they can't keep buying it.
Well, Jimmy, they've got to realize that they've been used. That the black.
That's what Kanye's trying to say, and the media is putting him down. They don't want nothing to do with him.
Do you remember back when Trump was running, he was talking to the black people, and he says, what do you got to lose? What do you got to lose to vote for me? What is it? I mean, the Democrats will give you this, but they expect to keep you down. You're never going to go nowhere on welfare. You're going to be struggling the rest of your life if you stay on welfare. Eating, anything.
And welfare is no life to live. It ain't. It really ain't.
I don't care if you got 20 kids. I wouldn't want 20 kids and getting free food stamps, man. That would be horrible. It's horrible waiting on a check every month. It's a horrible life. And
it is.
And it's hard to break out of that bubble once you get used to that life.
And your life flies by because you're living from month to month.
Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you, even when I was working, at least I worked. I lived from week to week, brother. I was 1 week away from being on the streets. I'm sure you live like that too. I mean,
I'm one paycheck away from living on the streets.
And it's bad. But do you think the government owes you something, Jimmy? Right now, I'm poor. I don't expect them to give me nothing.
Exactly. It's up to me to do it.
It's up to Jimmy. It's up to Jimmy. You're exactly right, man. And there were some more things I wanted to talk about, but they say Trump's approval rating is down. Now that's another. But I don't believe
that's another media bullshit.
Yeah, just trying to come along. And then I don't know if you heard Jeff, that Flake guy we was talking about a while ago. He had this. I don't know. He was talking on stage, and he was talking about his tribe. They're out. His tribe's against him now. You know, the Republican Party. Right. But Jeff Flake, that's not your tribe. You chose a different.
Your tribe is Democrats. Why don't you just become one?
Yeah, your tribe is now the Democratic Party now, Jeff Flake. But Jimmy, our first lady, I hope I say her name right. I don't know, up here in New Hampshire, if you say this different, Melania. Is that right? Melania Trump.
Absolutely correct.
All right. Melania Trump, our beautiful, great first lady. I guess she took off to Africa over there, and I think she's a wonderful first lady, Jimmy. I really do. I think we've got a good pair in there right now, Trump and Melania. I think they're great, and she's going to be visiting all kinds of countries over in the continent of Africa, and I just wanted to wish her luck, and I think she's doing great as a first lady. And Trump, as bad as people say he hates immigrants, but he sure married one, didn't he? I mean, everybody thinks Trump hates immigrants. Trump hates blacks. I mean, that's just not true.
It's just the media. They just pumping that out in the public. New York Times, Washington Post. Pick your poison.
Oh, God. Hey, Jimmy, I did a video earlier. I was going live when you was calling me, and there was some lady on there. I mean, on my video, she was telling me vote Democrat. Man, I was having a blast with her. Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you what. Every time I do a live video, I mean, I get a lot of bad comments too. I get some good ones, but I can also get these bad ones. But they use
because they're trolling for it.
They're trolling. That's what they was calling her, was a troll. And back a year ago, when I first started doing it, a year and a half ago, it used to bother me, these bad comments did. But anymore, if I don't get the bad comments, I feel like I'm not doing something right.
Yeah,
you know,
nobody's listening.
I want to take these people off. I sit there and she said, "Oh, Trump thinks make America great again." What, like America's never been great? They don't understand that slogan, "Make America Great Again." I mean, they can, you know, we was talking about this a little bit last week, Jimmy, but they totally they know what it means. They just don't want to admit what it means. You know, before we started burning the flag and acting all politically correct and stuff, that's what "Make America Great Again" means, man. It don't mean go back to slavery.
I heard a black guy say, "Make America Great Again." What's that? Bring back slavery?
That's what they say. I don't know where they come up with this crap, Jimmy. I really don't know where they come up with this. It's all the time. And heck, I even heard people down in Trump because he went ahead and ordered that FBI, that supplemental investigation. Trump knows he's clean, so don't.
Yeah, exactly. He has nothing to hide.
Yeah, that's what Trump said. Go ahead, investigate all you want. I don't care. And he knows he's cool and everything, man. I don't know if I had anything else. Oh, there's one more. We got 2 minutes left. Jimmy, I was watching this video the other day, brother, and there was this white guy. He had a "Make America Great Again" hat on. He was doing a live video, and this Mexican guy walks up to him, and the guy says, "So how you like it here in America?" And the Mexican guy looked at him, and he spit on the ground. He said, "I spit on your country." And the guy said, why you do that for? He said, "I'm here for your money. I'm here for the American money." He said, "I tell all my Mexican brothers to come over here for your money. I want your money." He was throwing these gang signs up and stuff, and then the guy, he told him that he was here illegally. I mean, spit on our ground. Jimmy, they're useless, brother.
They're blatant about it because the Democrats, the way they've been blatant about it.
It's almost funny anymore, even how the Democrats could even take up for these people over American citizens.
We gotta listen to them.
Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you what. If you got enough time to go ahead, I'll wish the troops.
We got about 10 seconds.
All right, Jimmy, start playing the music. We're not going to take it. See you all next week. Thanks, Jimmy.
We'll see you. Thanks for letting me on.
Bye-bye.